Welcome back to my channel. It's time for another manhwa volume review. At least I believe it is a manhwa. It might be a manga actually. But anyways, this is brought to you by Yen Press. Yen Press is a great company that has been sending me different things to review for you guys. This is one of the many books that I've been receiving from them. I'm trying my best to release 3 per week. I have pretty good groove past few weeks, but I'm going to try to continue reading so I can get more and more and hopefully move from 3 videos to 4 videos a week for you guys. But this is going to be on When the Villainess Seduces the Main Heroine. It is undoubtedly a interesting series in its own way. I will say it does have that parental advisory warning, explicit content. There is quite a bit of explicit content, not a lot of visual explicit content, although there's a lot of like, you know what's about to happen, right? A lot of verbal explicit content, I will say that. So just keep that in mind. That is there. So before anything, guys, if you haven't done so by now, make sure you check out Yen Press. First of all, they release a lot of stuff left and right for the otaku community. So if you guys have not checked them out, go check them out on yenpress.com. But also subscribe to my channel. Give some love by commenting, liking, and sharing. You guys can find me on social media and other places by checking the description below. I do have quite a bit of mangas, manhwas, light novels, you name it, special books, like collectible stuff and anthologies that Yen Press have released. All those reviews are in this channel, so make sure you check those out, and other stuff as well if you're interested in any otaku related content. So okay, it is, like I said, an interesting series in its own way. It takes the whole prince out of the equation, and it's its own trope in reality. So the story goes that the prince breaks off his engagement from his princess, which is the girl in the bottom, black hair, but because of his mistress, which is the other girl, and then the mistress dumps the prince to go with the ex fiance of the prince, and they become their own thing. Now, that's basically where the story starts off, and I want to say for the first half of the volume, it's very much just them growing their relationship, both in the visual and in public way, but also in intimate way. It always ends like that. Almost every chapter ends like that. And again, you don't see, they don't show stuff like that very much in your face, but it is implied that it's happening. So other characters includes this male cat that you can barely see there in the background. Maybe you can get closer. Yeah, the male cat, he is his own character. He can't talk to the humans, but he has a few chapters where he's talking to himself about the whole relationship and how he's okay with it because it's 2 girls, and you know, it's kind of like the thoughts of what a lot of guys are probably thinking while reading this. And then there is the maid. Now the maid, I'm trying to find a good visual of her, but the maid, essentially, she is looking out for the mistress girl. She really wants her to find true love and not something that is just based on revenge or anything. And towards the beginning, she starts building that relationship with the ex-fiance, fiancé of the prince, because she's learning that it's not just something physical, it's not just something born out of revenge, but beyond that. In the middle, there's a few holidays, like I know there's a few holidays that they celebrate close to Valentine's that are like Valentine's. They celebrate them here. And then there is finally actual plot at the second half of the volume. And I say that because it starts being very repetitive. Like, they're very much for each other, and it's okay, but it's a little bit too much. So they come and tell the girl who um, the girl who is Akuya, the black haired girl, that her mom's sick, and basically I believe she's tricked, and one of the other girls who she was close to is captured, and she goes and tries to save her, and there's guards in the way, and she does stuff with them to get them out of the way. It's very, very weird of what she does, and then saves the girl. Then they're in trouble, and the mistress comes and saves them as well. So that's kind of like the end. It's a very rushed, summarized version of the second half. You guys have to go read it, but there is trickery or treat. Obviously, the prince feels like he was betrayed not just by one but by two women. So he wants his revenge as well. So in a nutshell, it's not a bad series. I personally probably won't continue reading this series. A little bit too graphic for my taste. Um, and and like I said, the graphicness of it is not completely a bad thing. It's the repetitiveness of it that it just seems like that's what it's being built on, and not an actual story, not on anything else. So personally, when stories are like that, and I've been open about that, about other stuff, especially as an older man, it's just, it doesn't attract me so much to be reading that. So yeah, in a nutshell, is if you're into that kind of stuff, it's very repetitive nonetheless. Like, if it was one scene in the entire book, which there is some guilty pleasures that I have, that there's like one or two scenes that are very graphic in the book, but then everything else is like pure action or whatever, then I would be more okay with it. But it's very repetitive in the beginning, so I didn't like that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Have you read this? Yes or no? I know a lot of you guys tend to read this stuff and then watch my reviews instead of getting recommendations, but there is other books that you probably have not read, or mangas that you have not read, in my channel, so go check them out. I'm sure you'll find something that you haven't read yet, and you can hear my recommendations through videos. Thank you again for your love and support, guys. If you haven't done so by now, subscribe, and like always, guys, don't be strangers. I will see you guys next time. See you guys.